Are you tired of trading your time for money? Are you ready to add a stream of passive income by adding a digital product on your business? In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I created a digital product to add passive income to my business and how you can too. Hello there. If we have not met before, my name is Molly Kaiser. I'm an online course expert who's done over $8 million in online course sales. And now I help people just like you to turn your passion into your very own profitable online course that consistently generates passive income so you can get that sweet, sweet freedom back into your life. Okay, so let's rewind. How did I start adding passive income into my business? So way back in the day, I actually had a photography business. I was a professional photographer for 16 years before I fully transitioned into digital products and online courses full time. Now, what I did was I created my very own online course. I grew a following, and I talked in a previous video that I did a couple weeks ago exactly how I got started with my online course. But in this video, I'm going to share with you how I took that product and made it so that I could bring in consistent passive income into my business. So what I did was I created an online course for photographers, and I did my research and I did my proof of concept. I sold people in. So let's just fast forward past all the beginner parts because I covered that in the video I did a couple weeks ago. And let's dive into how did I take that course once it was built, once it was proven, and how did I automate the sales of that for passive income? Because I was able to, in addition to my photography business, have this course for photographers. And in turn, I had this additional stream of consistent passive income revenue within my business. Okay, so first let's talk about why an online course versus other types of digital products. And then I'm going to tell you step by step exactly everything I do to have taken that course and put it online in different various places to bring in consistent passive income revenue for my business, which again, used to be an additional stream to my business, but I've actually since closed that business and I'm full time with my online course business. Okay, so why online courses, Molly? Now there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can do PDFs, you can do like smaller courses or like recorded workshops or scripts or posing guides or templates. There's so many different types of digital products you can do. And I can tell you this, I've done them all. I've done all those. I've done memberships. I've done high ticket coaching. I've done group coaching. I've done all of it. And the reason I always go back to online courses is because I find it to be the fastest, easiest way to get my customer a result. Okay. But in addition to that, a result that is like high level and people are willing to pay anywhere from $300 to $2,000 for that course. Now, smaller digital products are great. And I do teach that as well. However, you just can't charge as much with it. So I do love online courses for this reason. It's a really great way to like be an authority on that topic and have one place where someone can come to learn everything that your course is about and have them end with that result you're promising them. And as long as the result is like good enough, people will pay, you know, like I said, anywhere from $300 to $2,000. So it's really a great thing to have like a real digital business that brings in a lot of money, because with these smaller digital products, unless you have like millions and millions and millions of followers, it's really hard to start generating, you know, a ton of money with that versus courses. You're charging a lot more. So you don't need that massive, massive volume to bring in a good amount of money with your course to make this like a great add-on side income or even your full-time income like I've done. Okay, so now that you know why online courses, let's talk about how to automate it for passive income. Again, third reminder, did a video 2 weeks ago on the steps to get started and make your first like $10,000 with your course. But let's say that your course is already made, you've already made sales with it, you've already done a webinar to promote your course, and that webinar got good results. You had 30% show up rate. You had, 10% or more of the people that were on the webinar purchase your course. Okay. Let's say you have all those things. Let's talk about how to automate it so you can get that elusive passive income. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is take that webinar recording that worked. Okay. Now this is important because a lot of people right away want to just go right to passive income. But the truth is that you can't automate a webinar that doesn't convert, because let's say you did a webinar and you got 0 sales and now you're like, I'm going to run a bunch of traffic to it. That'll fix it. 0 times anything is 0. So you need to do a webinar over and over until you know it's consistently converting well, because that's the only way it's going to work passively with an automated webinar funnel. Okay. Let's just say you have your webinar converting. You've done it before. What you're going to do is you're going to create your automated webinar funnel. Now you could do this a number of ways. And what I have found is that the tech doesn't really matter as as much as like the webinar presentation itself and the follow-up email sequence. Those are the two things that I have found that like really matter. Okay, so I'm going to give you two versions. I'm going to give you like a low-tech version and a high-tech version. Okay, so I've done both of these. The low-tech version would be that you simply create some kind of opt-in form where people put in their name and their email. And once they opt in, it goes to a page. And that page will actually have your webinar recording on it. And again, this is low-tech. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's just going to be the video inserted into the page. And then a button that says like, buy my course now or whatever, check out now, enroll now, whatever you want that button to say. So essentially people put in their name, they put in their email, they watch your video, and then if they want to buy, they buy. That's it. Low tech. You can do this with a lot of different softwares, but I recommend Kajabi. I've recommended it throughout all of my YouTube videos up to this point because it does everything. It's an all-in-one system. If you want to be a course creator who has a real course business, whether it's part-time or full-time, I really cannot recommend Kajabi enough. Again, it does everything. Email marketing, course hosting, funnels, checkout page, everything you need. You don't need any other software. Okay, let's talk about the high-tech version. Okay, now the high-tech version is you would use a software called EverWebinar. Okay, now what you do is you would do your webinar live using Webinar Jam, which Webinar Jam and EverWebinar are really the same software. They just each do different things and they're named differently. I don't know. I think they came up with Webinar Jam first and then they came up with EverWebinar. I bought a package where I got both of them. So basically you would do your webinar live using Webinar Jam. And then with like 3 clicks, you're able to create an entire automated webinar funnel from that live webinar. And what's cool is it actually simulates the comments that people did in the live webinar at the exact time they did them. So when the person's rewatching the webinar, it feels like they're on the live webinar. Now, I don't recommend lying to people and telling them it's live when it's not. People hate that. And everyone knows, right? Everyone is smart. They know it's not live. So what I do is I tell people, well, first of all, you can check out my automated webinar funnel. I'll mention at the end of this video so you can see how I do it. But what I do is when people register, first of all, it says like free on-demand training. So I don't say anywhere that's live. Okay. And then once they register on the thank you page, I have like bullet points and a video that says, hey, this is my most recent recording of my live webinar, but it's going to be really helpful. And what I want you to do is I still want you to pretend and interact as if it was live because you'll get the most out of it, which is most certainly true. People that take notes and comment and interact with presentations are more likely to like retain that information. So that's how I do that. So do your webinar first on Webinar Jam, and then you're going to be able to automate it with just a few clicks into EverWebinar. So what happens is people put in their name, they put in their email, and then it brings them to a thank you page. You get to choose the options of when they watch the webinar. So there's like just in time, which means when they sign up, they can watch it right away. Or you can set it to be like on the half hour. So when they sign up, let's say they sign up at 5:15, it'll say, hey, the next webinar is at 5:30. So then it'll bring them to the thank you page with a 15-minute countdown timer, and then it'll play the webinar. So I think we have our setup to be every half hour, or you can choose like noon or 8 p.m. because sometimes maybe people are busy and they're like, oh, but I'll do it at 8 p.m. or whatever. So that's like the more advanced way to do it. Now we have tech tutorials click by click. My husband's like a tech wizard. He went to school for IT. He teaches all this stuff in our paid course, Profitable Courses. But that's essentially in a nutshell, as quickly as I could teach it as possible, how to take a webinar and put it into an automated webinar funnel. But now let's talk about once you have your course, once you have it priced, once you have it selling, once you have your webinar converting and your auto webinar funnel up and running, how do you send traffic to that automated webinar funnel? Because that's really what it's going to be at this point. Like if you don't have any traffic going to the webinar funnel, then no one's going to watch it. Nobody's going to buy, right? And typically anywhere from 1% to 10% of those who register for your automated webinar will purchase. And that depends. It depends, like, does your webinar convert? Is this cold paid ad traffic? Is this warm organic traffic? How warm is it? You know, for us, we typically convert about 5%, but you know, I've known people who've done 1% with paid ads. I've known people who've done 10% with an extremely warm audience. So it just really depends, but just want to give you some numbers so you can kind of know what to expect. Now it comes down to traffic. Okay. So let's talk about like, how do I promote my automated webinar funnel? So I promote it in a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to go through like a list of every way that we promote it. And this is in no particular order. I'm just going to do it in the order in which I can think of it. But what we do is Reels / TikToks / YouTube Shorts. Okay. These are all essentially the exact same thing. So I'm going to call them video shorts, just so I can have a term to like consolidate that. So I don't have to say Reels / TikTok / YouTube Shorts every single time. Okay. So I do video shorts and we post 3 a day. Typically it's 1 educational, 1 trend one, and like 1 tutorial type of one. Okay. So 3 on Reels, per day, 3 on TikTok per day, 3 on YouTube Shorts per day. Okay. And we currently have all of this process and everything in place, and it's about to start happening. We went from 1 a day to 2 a day. I think we're right about to be 3 a day. So you'll have to look and see where we're at the time that you're watching this video. But essentially what I do is once a month, I batch record 31 educational videos, 31 trend videos, and like 31 tutorial type videos. Basically, my goal is always to have 2 to 3 or more video shorts per day on each of those platforms, because it just drives a lot of traffic. It grows our following a lot, and they work really, really well. I should really probably do an entire video on my whole process for this. Comment below and say, I would love your video shorts process. Okay. Because really I could go into like, how do I find the topics? Why did I choose these 3 different things? Like, how do I batch record them? How do I film them? Like, how do we even like schedule them now? We do all these different things. So let me know if you're interested in that. But basically we tried out a bunch of different content, and we found that the educational posts brought us the most sales. We found that the tutorial videos grew our following the most, and we found that our trend videos had the most engagement. So I like to do kind of like all of them because I just think it helps us get results the fastest. Okay, so in addition to those, what I do is on each of my social media platforms, I have a link called a link tree. Essentially what it is it's a link that you click on and it has like a tree of links. It's not an actual tree. Anyways, you can go check it out on my Instagram at Molly M. Kaiser. And then you can click on my Linktree link and just kind of see it's basically just a bunch of links. Okay, so let's say they watch one of my reels, they like it, they comment, they go to my profile, they click on my Linktree. The very first link is like, hey, check out my brand new free on-demand course training. And then people go there and they find it. And, you know, we've been getting anywhere from, I don't know, 100 to 300 clicks per social platform per 7 days. Like, I don't know, we could be at way more than that by now, but it really drives a lot of amazing traffic, which we love. And what's crazy is like TikTok grows our TikTok and our Instagram, but our Instagram gets more clicks, but our YouTube Shorts gets more views and engagement and grows our YouTube. So they kind of all have like their own reasoning. Okay, so that's kind of like the social media part of it. Then I put out one YouTube video every single week. And at the end of each YouTube video, I promote the automated webinar funnel. Plus I have a link at the top of my YouTube profile as well. Plus we do multiple emails per week. So on Mondays, we do what we call a nurture email. So this is where we're teaching something. We're just solely giving value. And then in the PS, we're like, hey, PS, check out this new free on-demand course training. If you want to create your own course, blah, 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 click here. Then on Tuesdays, we have our email goes out that promotes our YouTube video. So if they watch the YouTube video, then they get promoted the auto webinar funnel at the end. If they don't watch the YouTube video, we have a PS at the end of that email, that same thing. It's like, hey, come watch our free course training. Then Wednesdays, I believe we have an email that goes out promoting our podcast, same PS. Okay. And then I post a podcast every single Friday, and then I promote the automated webinar funnel there. We also have a Facebook group with like 6,500 plus people in it. And we have automated evergreen posts using SmarterQ software that promotes our automated webinar funnel there. So literally we're just like everywhere pushing out content, pushing out value, and just pushing people to our content and engaging and all that stuff. And then guiding them to go and sign up and watch and get the value from our free on-demand training. And if they like it and they want more help and they want like an exact roadmap of how to go from where they are to a 6 or 7 figure course business, then they can pay and enroll in our full course profitable courses. Okay, so what are the first steps you should do to create passive income with an online course? Now, if you've never made any money with an online course, I would first recommend watching my video from a couple weeks ago that teaches you the first steps on getting started with your course. But if you already have your course, you've already made sales, you've already done a webinar, then what you should do, the first steps is use one of those softwares to automate your webinar, and then figure out how you're going to do traffic. Now, don't start with every single channel. If you're not on any channels, master like one at a time. Or what I did was I was like, okay, I'm going to be on these 3 channels and I'm going to post once a week on each channel. Then I went to once a day, then twice a day, then 3 times a day. Don't get overwhelmed being like, oh my God, I have to post 3 times a day. You certainly don't. It's just like, that's the phase that I'm at. So yeah, I mean, it's really just like 3 steps, like do a webinar, get it converting, put it into an automated webinar funnel, send traffic to it. And easier said than done. I mean, you need to have a good webinar presentation. You need to have a good offer. It needs to sell. You need to get people good results. You have to have testimonials. We teach you how to do all of this and more inside of Profitable Courses. In fact, we give you templates and scripts and like funnels and tutorials for everything. I even give you guys my full webinar presentation as a Canva template if you just even watch my free on-demand training. So if your head is spinning and you're like, I want to have a course, I want to have passive income, but maybe you don't know what your course idea should be, or you don't know how to create your curriculum, or you don't know how to build that following for sales quickly, then I'm going to invite you to my free on-demand course training. You're going to love it. Again, whether you sign up for profitable courses or not, you're going to get a lot out of this training. And just for simply attending and watching the training, you're going to get my 100+ webinar Canva template slides for free as a gift, for free as a thank you for just attending. So I'm going to pull down my camera, pull up my slides, and show you click by click how you can register for your free on-demand seat to this training. And I can't wait to see you there. All right. So all you have to do is go to profitablecourses.com/class, and it's going to bring up a page that looks like this. The design might look exactly like this, or it might look a little bit different because we do split test the pages. But just know that you're on the right page as long as it says that this is my free instant workshop on how to create your own online course that generates consistent passive income. I'm so freaking stoked. You are going to learn a lot. This is value packed. All right. So you're going to learn how to discover your $1 million course idea and how to position it for profitability. You're going to learn how to design your course curriculum like a professional in 60 minutes or less. And you're going to learn how to start profiting from your course idea in the next 30 days, and then how to automate sales for passive income, just like I have done. All right. So all you have to do is go to that link, click on register now. You're simply just going to fill in your name, your email address, select the date and time you want to watch it at, and then you're going to click register now, and you're going to be able to watch it instantly or at the date and time that you have selected. I cannot wait to see you inside.